Is there a science to online business? That's kind of the question beneath a lot of questions I get. Really, people ask me, how do I know this is going to work, Graham? How can I be certain that if I do these things, it's going to put money in my pocket? Because honestly, none of us want to waste time. None of us want to embark on an endeavor that will ultimately lead in failure. I get it. And if you are looking into online business, it's because you want to change. You either want more money or you want more flexibility or more creative freedom, or you want to build something that's your own that you believe in. And so you might have questions. How does this actually work? And there's plenty of people promising you how to make money online, and they keep it very vague for real reasons. They want you to buy their course, and they're going to teach you in their course. Not me. I'm going to teach you exactly how this whole online business works, how this model works. It's something I believe in 100%, something I've written about in depth in my book that's coming out, and I want to share it with you publicly here so you understand the model. So this is going to be very simple, clear, didactic, and then you get to decide if this is a model that's appealing to you. So let's unpack the science of online business. Welcome to episode 145 of The Graham Cochran Show. I'm here to help you build your online business. Yes, work less and live and give more. I'm your host, Graham Cochran. It is my true honor to spend time with you today, and I love having you tune in for another episode. If you're watching on YouTube, I see you. I appreciate you. Great comments, great feedback. And we crossed 30,000 subscribers the other day. I just logged in and noticed we finally hit the 30K, so another milestone. So just want to thank you so much for subscribing to this channel if you are on YouTube. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app, I love you just as much. I appreciate you popping me into your ears for a few minutes in your week. Maybe you're doing dishes, maybe you're in the car, maybe you're just sitting on a park bench somewhere like an old person, which is one of my dreams, just to sit on a park bench quietly while everyone else is freaking out and scrambling in their lives. I just want to be sitting on my butt. So if you're sitting on your butt listening to me, then I see you and I appreciate you too. We're going to have a great episode for you today. We're going to talk about the science of online business. I'm going to break down the model for you. And I want to give you a gift right off the bat. Like if you're serious about making money online and you want to do it quickly, just to sort of prove that this can work, this is not a fast model. I'm always honest about this. It's not a fast model, but there is a way to make money quickly. It won't be a ton, but it'll be proof of concept for you. So if you actually need some money quickly, here's what I can give you. I can give you my 30-day online income jumpstart guide. It is a 4-week plan with bullet points, checklists to go from no audience, no business idea to putting money in your pocket in the next 30 days. Probably $400 to $800 is about on average what my students are making in 30 days following this plan. And then what they've really done is built the foundation of a business that they can then really cultivate and turn into something substantial. So it's going to be more than that if you follow what I teach, but this is a great way to make some cash quickly. And if you really want to kick things up a notch and not do the slow way and just get it going, take my 30-day online income jumpstart guide as my gift to you. It's free. Just go to grahamcochran.com/jumpstart. And if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to link to it below to make it easy for you. Just click on that. Okay, so I was flying out to California last week to film a cool course for Kajabi. And I'm sitting on the plane, and there's a guy I connected through, I think, Denver. And he was going to Colorado. And he wanted to know what I did for a living. I was trying to explain to him the business model. And so I always tell people these days, I've tried out different things, oh, what do you do for a living? I used to get blank stares when I would tell people, well, I have this online business and, and people are like, what? So now I just tell people I make YouTube videos and they go, oh, cool. And now they know something about me, even though that's very not 100% true, but it's something they understand. And so then they say, oh, cool. So how does that, how does that make money? Is it like ads? And then it gives me an opportunity to briefly explain the business model to them. And it's very cool to see their eyes light up and go, wow, I never thought about that before. And that's what I want to do for you here. So imagine we're on an airplane together and you're sitting next to me and you're like, hey, so you going to California for work? And I say, yeah, but I don't normally travel and blah, 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 blah. What do you do? Well, I make YouTube videos. Oh, tell me, how does that make you money? I'm going to tell you how that makes you money. I'm going to tell you how YouTube in particular, or podcast or whatever, fits into the science of online business, because it is a science. It's also an art, which I love. That gives you the creative expression, the creative freedom to try different things, to go about it in a different way. Your business, your online business, if we're being technical, your online business can look very different than my online business. There are rules of thumb and formulas that generally work, and yet you can do something totally out of the box and it work magnificently for you. Or you could follow everything that I do to a T and it fail for you, because this is also an art. So there is an art side of things, and I get that. We're not talking about that part today. I try to give you that freedom to let you know, hey, there's a lot of ways to skin this cat, but today let's talk about the science, the hard facts of what works. So the bankable, take it to the bank, this works model. I've been doing this for over 12 years in 2 different niches. And then I've coached tens of thousands of people to do the same thing. And so I've seen what works, and I've seen like the common denominator of this business model. And so I feel very confident to bring that to you as the science of it. So let me talk about how this works, and I'm just going to give you the steps, okay? So take notes. This is it. This is how the model works. And I think you should know, if you're on the fence of should I start an online business, I think you should know what you're getting yourself into. You should understand the mechanics of a business before you start it, because it's so hard to start a business in general. It takes risk, it takes guts, and there's so many forces out of your control. You should at least know how it's supposed to work, right? Like you wouldn't become a realtor without understanding the mechanics of how you earn a living as a realtor, with commissions, what it's going to take to get you there, etc. So let me give you those mechanics. So I'm going to walk you through, there's 6 kind of core things here. But we're going to skip an important step, which is figuring out your profitable business idea, because I don't have time to cover that in depth in this episode. But it's an assumption that you would figure out and research like where you think you can bring value to the market and where you feel like there is a market for something like that. It's something I teach about extensively on this channel. I cover it in depth. I have an entire chapter on this in my upcoming book called How to Get Paid for What You Know. It's my 3-step profitability framework. And it's a great chapter. It'll help you figure all that out. We talk a lot about should you follow your passion and all that stuff, all that interesting advice. But assuming you kind of know, like this is the area I really want to build my online business around and I feel confident about it, there are 6 core components that you need to understand that really make this work. Number 1 is audience. The most important part of your online business, it's not your products, it's not your email funnel, it's not your sales copy. It's not whether you use Kajabi or Kartra or some other tool or ClickFunnels. None of that matters. What matters is, do you have an audience or not? And an audience, right, is people that are following you, paying attention to you, you can get in touch with easily, who really vibe with what you're doing online. I always tell people, without an audience, nothing is possible. But with an audience, anything is possible. If you have an audience, you can write a book and sell it to them. You can host a retreat and have people to come to it. You can launch a clothing line and people will buy your clothes. You can have an online course and people will buy it. The audience, your tribe of people, as Seth Godin would call them, is your most valuable asset. So you can understand the mechanics of how maybe a launch works. That's great. Like, for example, Jeff Walker, love that guy. Love his book launch. Product launch formula has changed so many people's lives, and he's actually a really amazing, genuine human being. I was honored to be able to interview him. Check out that interview on the YouTube channel or the How to Become a New York Times bestselling author podcast. Great dude. But what good is Jeff's launch model if you don't have people to launch to, don't have people who believe in you? And so a lot of people have tried to circumvent this audience building process by running ads. Oh, I'll just run Facebook ads. And then that way I'll have eyeballs to sell my stuff to. And I think 2 things. 1, I've talked at length about Facebook ads. I don't believe in them. 1, it's getting much harder to have profitable ads. I just talked to a buddy of mine who's just yesterday, who messaged me, he's world-class at Facebook ads. He's been running his business off of Facebook ads since 2016. And he's built a multi-6-figure business on the back of Facebook ads. And I've coached him, told him to build a YouTube channel, and he's done that, but he really does favor ads. He just messaged me yesterday. man, I'm breaking even. I'm breaking even on my ads. I'm getting harder and harder to scale. I'm thinking about going back to YouTube. I think you were right. And I say that because it makes me look smart. I literally told him, I was like, bro, you're making me look smart here. But to the point, I think ads are getting harder to convert. So I wouldn't bank my future on ads, even if I had success with them in the past. 2, running ads and getting people to then sell to is not the same thing as having an audience. I think the most valuable thing you could have in today's crowded landscape online is a loyal following, an audience of people that really follow everything you do, love what you're doing, and speak highly of you, talk about you to other people. A lot of my growth in this brand, both brands, Recording Revolution for sure, but I'm just even seeing in this brand because my personal brand has grown faster than the Recording Revolution. A lot of my growth, and this is harder to grow in the business space because it's so big, so saturated. In the music production space, when I started in 2009, there were people doing it, but it was only a handful of people, so it wasn't hard for me to stand out. It's hard to stand out in the online business. You've got like Tony Robbins and everyone, and then there's little old me. So it is a very crowded niche. And just, again, proof case, crowded niche, I'm probably in the most crowded niche ever. Been there, done that. Everyone's done it before, and I'm still able to make 7 figures a year off of this business. So don't be scared by crowded niches. But my point is, I think the reason I've been able to grow in this space, one of the reasons is word of mouth. I'm building a following, I'm building a tribe, and you're a part of that, unless this is your first piece of content you ever engaged with and you're hating it. But assuming you're liking my content, I'm building a following of people like you who say, hey, I like what Graham's doing. I like the way he thinks about online business. I like the way he thinks about life and integrating life and work, redesigning what work and life, that relationship looks like. I like where he's going with this. I trust him. I believe in him. It's people like you who are telling other people about me on Facebook, on social, in person. You're sharing my videos. You're sharing a podcast episode. This is the stuff I can't track. This is the stuff I don't see, but I know it's happening. I had somebody come on my 6-figure challenge we did a couple of weeks ago who ended up not joining my membership, but buying a $500 course of mine, all because of a recommendation of a friend. Hey, this person speaks so highly of you. I came to your free training. I loved it. I bought your course. Amazing. That's an audience. An audience is the most valuable thing, because if my business crashes or I feel like I really want to pivot into another direction, having an audience like you, if I wanted to just move solely into writing and speaking, which is not beyond the realm of possibility for me, that's a dream I have. If I'm like, you know what, I want to stop doing a podcast, or I want to stop doing a YouTube channel, which I'm not stopping, by the way, I love this. But if I wanted to, and I'm like, I'm just going to write books and speak, I could just email you guys and let you know, look, come hear me speak. I'm speaking at this conference. I got this new book out. And you would follow me because you trust me. And I've built that loyalty and trust with you. That would help me stay in business, even if I changed the model of my business. Audience is key. It's the most important part of the science of online business. So the question then, Graham, how do I build an audience? What's the best way? Ads don't really build an audience. They can build a bit of a list, but it's not the same thing. Content marketing is the key. 2 words, content marketing. And content, I won't go into depth about it, but the best type of content, what I mean by content is evergreen content, content that's a search away, that always is followable, discoverable, never disappears in a feed. So YouTube videos are my absolute favorite. And if you had to pick one, I would say go all in on that. Blog posts on your website, and then podcasts. Why those 3? Well, YouTube videos and blog posts are the most discoverable of any kind of content, because your blog posts are going to show up in Google searches. The title of your blog post, the first few sentences of your blog post, any comments on your blog post is all searchable content. That's what Google does. And then YouTube is another search engine. It's not a social media platform. It's a search engine. And so if you have YouTube content, video content, people are searching on YouTube every day. It's a number 2 visited website in the world next to Google. So if you have a blog and you have a YouTube video, so you're going to show up on the number 1 visited website and the number 2 visited website in the world, Google and YouTube. And YouTube videos show up on Google searches because Alphabet owns both Google and YouTube, so they're integrated. So having videos on YouTube is the most dynamic way to get discovered. It's a discoverability engine. So you make regular, powerful content for free. And this is for initially discoverability. People discover it. That's how you found me. And then 2, it allows you to build that trust and build that audience because people get a taste of your content. They spend 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes with you and they go, wow, I really like what she has to say. Wow, that was really helpful what he did there. And so more than an ad that just invites you to like buy a thing or download a thing or even come to a webinar, your content is more like what that webinar should do if it's a good webinar ad, which is the webinar is like 45 minutes together. That's like building rapport and trust. Why not do that for free in a discoverability engine like YouTube or a blog post? Podcasts come in second to those 2. Podcasts are great for audience building because statistically, there's more loyalty for a podcast listener than even a YouTube viewer. It's just the problem with podcasts in America, at least right now, is the podcast app, the Apple app, and these other ones that they're really closed loops. So if you have a podcast, you really want to have a blog post that embeds the podcast. You have show notes, and then you're really banking on the blog post itself for the discoverability thing to get heard on the podcast. Unless you have guests that promote your podcast, it's harder to get discovered on a podcast. It's just that until Apple makes some changes, it's more of a closed loop. So, but I love podcasts, hence why I do one. But it's also a video podcast. I'm on YouTube at the same time because I really believe in the power of YouTube. It's what's built both of my businesses. I've seen it work. I see it in my students' lives. Like I wouldn't build a business without YouTube today. I 100% believe in YouTube. But it's this relentless commitment to one piece minimum of content, original, powerful, free content every single week on the platform like YouTube or your blog or podcast or all 3. That is what's going to get you discovered to build the audience. So you're going to notice that as you build your online business, you never stop creating content. It is the engine that drives all other things. Number 3 is an email list. So you create content to build the audience, which is the most important part of this science experiment. But I don't just want to have a big following on YouTube. And this is what I try to tell people if they really are interested. I skip this part on the airplane talk about what do you do for a living if they're not interested because nobody cares. But if they're like, wow, that's very interesting. So do you have to have a big following on YouTube or Instagram or whatever they think, because they think it's all about TikTok or Instagram or Clubhouse if they even know about that or whatever it is. I try to explain to them, no, big following on those platforms is a means to an end. The problem is I don't trust any of those platforms. I don't trust the algorithms because they change. I've seen it happen. I've seen my Facebook, my business drop in half, not one night over the next when Facebook changed their policy. And I had 100,000 followers on Facebook. And all of a sudden the next day, only 10,000 saw my posts because they just stopped showing all organic traffic. They just changed it. That was a major blow to me. I had to come back from that. Luckily, I had an email list. I've seen that on Instagram. I see it on YouTube. They changed their algorithm too. I don't want to bank on a platform. So when you discover me on a platform, what do I want to then do? I want to get you off of that platform and onto my email list. It's the most important thing. And we do that by offering a lead magnet. I've talked about that at length on this channel and on this podcast. So check that stuff out. But you want to move people from discovering you on the content platform and building rapport and liking you and becoming an audience member to becoming an email subscriber, because now there's no middleman. Now I can contact you directly. There's no algorithm that's going to get in the way of that. Like I can just message you. Email list is the name of the game. That's why I want to build an audience on the platforms, but then I want that audience ultimately to be an audience I own on the list that I can message you directly. Email list is number 3. Okay, this is just science. Like this is the way it works. It's very simple. Building an audience through content, moving them to your email list, and then there we need to then finally come up with a product idea. See how we didn't start with a product? You never ever start with a product. Why? Because the product is meaningless unless you have an audience to sell it to, and you really need to get to know your audience to find out what product to build if you want to make a product that sells itself. I don't want to make a product and then work really hard to sell it. I want to make a product that sells itself. And I don't always get this right. I don't have Midas's touch. But what I try to do is build an audience, engage with that audience, and then find out who these people are and what they're looking for and like what they need help with and the way they think and the words they use. And then I'm going to use all of that to come up with a solution or an offer that solves their problem. So for example, one of my best-selling products for this brand is a membership site called Graham's Six-Figure Coaching Community. This product is designed to help you scale your online business from where it is, maybe a $500 a month business, a $1,000 a month business, a $3,000 a month business, whatever it is, scale that up to $100,000 a year. So $8,333 a month or more in your online business. Specifically, my goal is to get you to $10,000 a month minimum, working 20 hours a week maximum. That's the language I use in my membership. That is the offer. That is the solution. The product itself is a membership site, and it's amazing. And I've helped so many students get there and beyond. That product wasn't just concocted in my head. That product was born out of people who took my course, who were like, man, I really need community. I need accountability. I get the foundations of a business, but I can't scale it. I'm plateauing, blah, 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 blah. I saw the writing on the walls, like they need a product that's geared to scaling to six figures. That's what everybody wants. I'm going to help them do that. So you can figure out your product based off of your audience that you've built by creating content, emailing them regularly. You see how the first three components lead up to you having a lot more clarity on what to build and sell them. And usually these products are an online course or a membership site, or it could be a group coaching program, which is a combination, or it could be a mastermind or one-on-one coaching, which is not much of a product. It's more of a service, but it is an offer. So those are typical products, but online courses, membership sites are your typical digital products, which are my favorite kind of products to sell because there's unlimited quantities and they can be selling automatically. This product is related to the value exchange in the transaction. So that's when you have to then understanding how to sell that product. So you can make the product, you still have to sell it. The great news is you don't have to DM people, you don't have to jump on sales calls, you don't have to do any of that stuff for most products. What you do need is a killer sales page, and that's a one-page website that has a video and a bunch of text that walks them through a simple process of like qualifying, like, hey, do you struggle with this problem? Do you have this desire? Have you tried these other things? Then do you realize that I've come to a solution that will solve that problem for you? Here's the solution. Here's who I am. Here's how it helps you. Here's other people that have taken it and the results they've gotten. Here's how I'm going to sweeten the pot and make it an offer you just can't refuse. And then I want to offer it to you. And it's all written out on a sales page. This is where we talk about sales copy as a skill. This is something that's very foreign to most of us, but the good news is it's something you can learn. I was a horrible salesman in my first job out of college. I talked about it a few weeks ago on the show, but I've learned how to sell a lot better. And the great news is you can craft a sales page once and get it to say exactly what you want it to say. And then it's up there again, and it's offered automatically to the people on your email list, the people that are in your audience. You don't have to do the selling, but you need to make that value exchange and make that transaction. And you have digital tools like a sales page. And this is where a tool like Kajabi comes into play, right? The Kajabi is the tool that helps you. I mean, it can host your website and your content and your email list, which is amazing, but it also can host your product and help you build the product, and the sales page to sell the product and to take credit card payment or do multiple payments if it's a membership and deliver the product. So like the transaction happens digitally with a good sales page and some kind of digital platform like Kajabi. So you see how we're going here. You've built a product based off of your audience's desires that you figured out through doing content interaction and emailing them. Now you've got the product built, and now you can sell it to them. You've got an email list. You can email them all out today and sell it to them. Then the real secret comes, and this is the final piece of the puzzle. And this is what I think makes online business the secret sauce, because anyone can make money online. Anyone can make money in any kind of business. But the problem is everyone's still a slave to the business they've built or slave to the job they've created where they're making good money, which everyone thinks is the goal. But there's plenty of people who make good money who have to work 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week for it. That's not really a life to me. Even if you love your work, I talked to someone the other day who said, but Graham, I love working 80 hours a week. Okay. Do you have a family? Do you hope to have a family? How many years or decades can you really do this? Is there anything else in your life that you really want to be able to do? Like exercise, travel, spend time with your family, call your mom, go to church, volunteer. I don't know. Have you thought about the totality of your life? Because you might love your job and want to work 80 hours a week, but does that really get you to your long-term goals, and how long can you do it? The sixth and final piece of this science experiment of what makes online business tick is automation. 100%. The best thing about the time and place that we're living right now is the powerful tools that we have for automation. Everything we've covered, audience building, content, email list, product, sales copy and selling and delivery can be automated. Not just by the tool, like when I send an email, it automatically delivers a product, but you can automate the entire process so that you don't even have to send out the emails. So right now, as I'm talking to you, I have a system in place. It's on Kajabi specifically, but it could be on any platform. I have a system in place between my YouTube content and my podcast and my website that's getting discovered every moment of every day. It's offering people my lead magnets. They're joining my email list. They're automatically being followed up with a series of emails that offer them products, takes them to sales pages that are automatically selling them, following up if they don't buy, offering them more if they do buy. I'm making money right now while I'm recording this for you because of automation. And the tools are cheap. They're powerful. It's insane what you can do. And so that's what allows me to, like right now, outside of stuff I'm doing for my book, which is really exciting, outside of that, to run my business, to run this business, it's taking me about 6 hours a week now. It does over $1 million a year. That's insane. That's insane. That's only possible because of automation. It's a combination of building your audience, because your audience is the asset, right? Your audience is the asset. And so by association, if you have a YouTube channel, your YouTube channel is the asset and your podcast is the asset that builds the other asset, which is the audience. And if you have a system in place to capitalize on that asset, meaning you've got a plan to get people on your email list and you have an evergreen email funnel that offers your digital products and automation, all that stuff. If you have that back-end system in place, then your asset just pays you every single day. Every single day. It was the hard, slow work of building an audience and putting the system in place, but the automation is the piece de resistance. It's the final crowning achievement of online business that allows you to have income that can scale to whatever your goals are, while your work hours are detached from that, and they can either stay the same, or in my case, and if you do it right, they can go down, should go down. That's how I was able to start this business while I still have the recording revolution. But between systems and scaling and just everything's already built, all I had to do is my content, I was able to start this business at the same time. For 3 years, I ran both of them together. Now I've handed off the content to someone else. So I have more of a team running that business for me because I just mentally feel called to just focus on this business. But for 3 years, I ran both. How was that possible? And still is less than 15 hours a week to run the two. Automation. And that's the power. So there are a lot of ways to make money in this world and a lot of ways to make money online, but the model I teach is this one. It is a science. These are proven components. It is a proven model. And the great news is it's built around generosity. It's built around giving stuff away. The public persona, the public view of your business is one of which she just gives it all away. You make your money on the back end, privately selling with systems that are automated, which gives you the best of both worlds. You can make a great living while serving most people, the majority of your people, for free, and being able to give out great information for free, which helps you sleep well at night because you know you're able to help people whether they can afford your products or not. And you never have to feel bad. And people don't have to feel bad if they take your stuff for free because that's what it's there for. I can't find a better business model. I just can't. And that's why I'm so passionate about it. I've written an entire book about it. It comes out March 22nd called How to Get Paid for What You Know. You should check it out. It's on Amazon. You can pre-order it now or go to grahamcochran.com/book to check out more stuff there. But that's what that whole book's about. I'm spending my time trying to get this model out there because it is so repeatable, so doable. It's easier today than it was when I got started 12 years ago. And it's proven. It works in any niche. It really, really does. And then, of course, like I said at the beginning, there's a lot of art to it, a lot of creative freedom there to build a business that you really enjoy. But at the end of the day, this is the science side of it. The results that you can expect from this is if you follow what I teach and you put these systems in place, you can easily create $5,000 to $10,000 a month in an online business very easily. Maybe not overnight, but when I look at my students that are doing what I'm saying, that's like first base. It's like very doable. The ones that actually put in the work, $5,000 to $10,000 US a month in your online business, it's not that hard. And then I have students that are just doing way more than that because because of the automation and the content marketing side, once you get to that level, once you get to $5,000 a month, $8,000 a month, and you're like, wow, this is amazing. Doubling that to $10,000 a month or $16,000 a month is actually easier than what it took to get there because the momentum's in your favor. We have all this SEO, people finding you easier, your systems are in place, it's all automatable and scalable. You'll find that growth into the multiple six figures and beyond is actually a lot faster. It's really hard to believe, and it shocks people when it happens. But my students, it happens all the time. They fight, they get to $100,000 a year, and then all of a sudden they're doing $250,000, and they're like, what happened? That was easy. Again, because the model is just the best. So I hope that was helpful for you. That gives you a little inside look into the model, and you need to know it. So if you're going to follow my teachings, this is what I'm teaching all my students and all the nuances therein. But those are the components. And if you want to get a head start on this and just get after it a little quicker, take my 30-day online income jumpstart guide. It's free. It'll give you a 4-week checklist to go from zero to making some money in the next 30 days. It's at grahamcochran.com/jumpstart. Or if you're on YouTube, click the link below. You can grab it. It's a free PDF. It's just a great resource to have. And it really will help you. And then commit to listening to the show, coming back to the show every week. If you really want my best material, buy my course, of course. Dive into all the other material on the website. But you can take this and run with it. You can take this 30-day online income jumpstart guide and run with it and build your business. There's no magic here. I'm going to continue to teach the straight up facts. And you're going to have to just build some skill sets, and you're going to build those. You're going to work on those chops, and it's going to get good over time. It's not fast. It really isn't. I wish it were. It took me a long time to make good money. And some of my students are faster than me, which is great. But I'm here for you. I'm going to tell you the truth about it. And if you have specific questions after this episode, leave them in a comment below. I'm happy to help out, and we'll keep diving in. Hey, stay healthy, stay safe. Pre-order my book. It'd mean a lot to me. We'll talk to you more about the book as well, especially if you're on my email list. Some really cool stuff coming. But I need your help. Team Graham, let's do this. Let's help a lot of people out, yourself included. So you're going to hear more about that in the coming weeks. Have an amazing day. See you on another episode real soon.